Hey all, welcome to the CIOPCC and this week's Top 10, the last in the Halloween series. Now, we're going to start out right here with Mad Scientists. Top 10 Mad Scientist action figures. And the thing is, some of my Mad Scientist definitions are going to be a little different than yours. Now, I'm not going to include anybody like Professor Farnsworth or Doc Brown. They aren't Mad Scientists. They're just doing their job, experimenting. No, my Mad Scientists are usually the villains of the story. Like Dr. Hibbert here from the McFarlane playset for the Island of Dr. Hibbert, which is, of course, the Island of Dr. Moreau. This, I really, really wished Playmates had done this, but they didn't, sadly. But McFarlane came up and did this set, and he's going to get my number 10 spot just because it was such a cool episode, part of an episode. Number 9, we're going to go way around to the other side over here. Like I said, you're not going to agree with all my picks. For example, you're not going to see Lex Luthor on here. I thought about putting Lex Luthor on here. He is sort of a mad scientist, but, you know, he's more Elon Musk than he is Dr. Jekyll. Except he actually made most of his money because he's actually smart. Speaking of Lex Luthor, my number 9 spot goes to Simon Bar Sinister, the evil scientist from the Underdog series. He's even got a test tube there with some kind of a dangerous chemical in it, probably a food additive. And his lab coat, you know he's got a lab coat on, so he must be a mad scientist. Dr. Evil gets my next spot. Now you're thinking, oh, you mean Dr. Evil from Mike Myers? Yeah, there he is. No, that's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Dr. Evil from Captain Action. Sure, he was an alien, but he was still a mad scientist. Great with disguises, too, just like Captain Action. He came with a lab playset. If you happen to have that, you have one really great playset. And he's going to get my number 8 spot. My number 7 spot is going to another true mad scientist, and one that I'm really shocked that we got a figure of. And it's a great figure. That's the nice thing. This is the second figure from McFarlane on the list. He did these play sets for the Warner Brothers line, and he did the mad scientist along with Gossamer from Water Over Here, maybe? Forget which, he was in a couple episodes. But yeah, there he is, the mad scientist. He didn't have a name, he was just the evil scientist. Another evil scientist who used his smarts for evil was Dr. Maesto. You remember him if you're a South Park fan. You got to know Dr. Maesto. And him and his cloning experiments is what gets him on this list in the number 6 spot. So now we're starting to wind down. We're getting to number 5. That's the good stuff here. Number 5, you saw the Frankenstein monster and Dracula from the Monster Mash. Monster Mash is one of the rare occasions when we actually got a Dr. Frankenstein figure. We get lots and lots and lots of Frankenstein monsters, but not very many of the Frankenstein himself. And this one is, of course, intended to look like Karloff. Number 4 is right on the shelf with him here. Diamond Select Toys did a great Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. They're right there next to each other. We, again, very rarely get a Dr. Jekyll. Well, we've gotten a few Mr. Hydes. His more mad scientist version is rarely seen. Now, number 3 is The Fly. Hey, he was a mad scientist till he got his parts swapped. And I love this 12-inch figure. Yes, I do like the new movie better than the old movie, but there's just something so cool about this classic look. Now, if NECA wants to do an updated version of Brundlefly, I'll be more than happy to pick that up too. Over here we have number 2, The Invisible Man. Another mad scientist who lost it, doing some experiments on himself that he probably shouldn't have been doing. Sideshow did this one, and they did a really nice job. Now, I know NECA has the new one out in the 7-inch format, but I really like this costume. Really did a nice job with it. Now, let's see. That leaves us with number one. Number one is over this way. We had one Frankenstein figure there. And that one Frankenstein figure was, of course, the one from Monster Mash. But here is Frankenstein from Young Frankenstein, Gene Wilder's character. This is a great set. If you don't have these three figures in your collection, you really should pick them up. And the beauty of it is they're not that expensive these days, I don't think. These were done by Sideshow. You can see Johnny Depp is assisting. And they get my, the doctor gets my number one spot in my Mad Scientist list. So that's my top 10. Hopefully you're going to have a terrific Halloween tomorrow night. And until Wednesday, when we'll do another collection video, you have a great one.